Okay, here we go. Here we go, everybody. Okay, we're going to start in just 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Let me just. There we go. Okay. And here. Yes. All right, let's do a mic check. All right. Roger said he's ready. All right, folks. Good afternoon, one and all. What a morning. Case continues. Listen, the defense gets a chance to put on their case. Stop panicking, because there's bad news coming around the bend. I'm going to lay it out for you. This is a huge day that we're going to explain, and it needs to be amplified. Now, I will be on Fox Nation coming up live at 3 o'clock. Live at 3. And you can watch it everywhere. Watch it everywhere, excuse me. That's Fox News Channel. Fox Nation live streaming 3 to 4 on the Karen Reed trial. By the way, this chair that I'm sitting on was made by a very old relative of mine that came here from Italy and made the chair, of which why, I love it, but made in 1908 or 1910. And when one of my relatives passed away and, they were going to clear some things out, I said, I'll take it. And so had it painted and so forth, but it has tremendous sentimental value for me. So we're going to start in just 2 minutes, 2 minutes away. Let me, I want to check. All right. You are not centered. All right, I will get centered. No, I'm never centered. I'm to the right. No, move to the right. Court TV last night and then this morning. I don't know. Yeah. I agree. Wait, I like that. That's right. What about Jen McCabe? All right. Hold on. Let me. I think the audio should be fine. I think the audio is fine. The audio should be fine. That's right. What about Jen McCabe? Yes. Okay, that's good. And then let me just check YouTube. And then we're going to begin our program. Folks, what has been a big day. There I am. Yes. Audio's good. Yes. Hi there, WB. All right. We're going to start, and I'm sure right now we are solid on our YouTube channel. And also right now we are on Facebook, even though in fairness, I did not check the audio of our Facebook page, but I think I'm going to check it right now. And yes, the audio. Hardly. Arcus, hardly. No, doesn't go that way. I'll explain. Don't panic. There's no reason to panic here. Remember, this is the anniversary of D-Day. So, and there was no panic. Folks, good afternoon. Right now, 1:06. I will break down the latest with the Karen Reed trial. And I'm going to walk it through why this is such a significant day. And also why, remember, the defense gets a chance to put on their case. This is the more robust case that Karen Reed talked about. And who they have on is this little worm, Dr. Wolf. But I'm going to explain what's happening right now, give you the latest. Now, folks, right now as we speak, we are live on AM 1380, 99.9 FM. You can always listen online at the website, dpetro.com. And right now, on this Friday, January 6th, anniversary of D-Day, we are live on our Facebook page, on X, and on YouTube. And it's also on demand. Actually, there's more people watching it later, thank you, if you're watching it later, than actually watch it live. We have a lot of people that are watching it live. But then when we look at the numbers, there's even more people that watch it after that, which is fantastic. Folks, this portion of our program, on what has been a nice weather week, it's brought to you by PR Landscape Materials and Garden Center, 3688 Quaker Lane in North Kingstown. Now, they have everything to make your home, your property, look the best it can. Annuals, perennials, trees and shrubs. They have hanging pots, 10-inch, 12-inch moss baskets, pansy, marigold bags, hanging impatiens, large selection of beautiful patio pots, vegetable plants and herbs, tropical mandevillas, hibiscus plants. They're a full-scale nursery. I get emotional talking about them. Stop it and see them. It's PR Landscape Materials and Garden Center. They're open 7 days a week. And you can also, they have gift certificates available. Now, as always, check out our website, dpetro.com. You can learn a little bit about me. We have, hello, there I am. Learn a little bit about my background, where things have brought me to where I am right now. So you can read that at depetro.com. We have links to all of our social media. Remember, depetro.com. Brought to you by the Cohasset Inn, 226 Cohasset Avenue, West Warwick. Lunch, dinner, drinks in the lounge, plus the market at Cohasset, the Cohasset Inn. Now, let me stay on schedule. For all your propane needs, call Propane Plus today in Rhode Island, 401-885-4209. In Massachusetts, 508-252-3359. Propane Plus, heating and cooling. Folks, remember, residential or commercial, log on to their website at propaneplus.com. It's Propane Plus. Remember, call them today, 401-885-4209, or in Massachusetts, 508-252-3359 for Propane Plus. Now, folks, where are we with the Karen Reed trial? And it's a huge day. And thank you to everyone that saw me on Court TV last night with Vinny at 9. And then less than 12 hours later, there we were with the great Julie Grant. I also want to give a shout out to Towels Everywhere. Towel Nation is taking over. And also, I've been popping in with Kevin and the crew at Yellow Cottage Tales. So it's actually been a lot of fun. And this afternoon, we're live 3 to 4, streaming live on Fox Nation with their streaming service. So a couple things. Now, number one, to me, the defense strategy, the defense is having their case. Remember, a couple things. For many people, maybe it's the first time you're watching a trial. And it's interesting, isn't it? If you're not vested, you can learn a lot. If you get vested, it's less enjoyable, I find. I always find it's better to try. To me, it's almost, I enjoy watching I like football. Football is the sport I watch the most. I like watching a football game where I don't have a dog in the fight, so to speak. Two great teams, and then I really don't care, so you can enjoy it. But anyhow, I believe what the defense, led by Alan Jackson, who make no mistake about it, he is a tremendous, he is gifted. He has command over the courtroom, very talented guy. And I've told him that, by the way. But they're putting on their defense. A witness is only as good as their cross-examination. A witness is only as good as their cross-examination. And that goes both ways, by the way. If you have a prosecution witness, they're only as good as what happens when the defense gets a chance. So right now, the defense is having a day. They have this. Now, I'm not a fan of this guy, Dr. Wolf. I find him smarmy. I find him, I was in the court when they had the hearing that he had not disclosed that they had been paid. He did not disclose that he had been communicating with the defense and Alan Jackson. They deleted texts. I was in the court for that. The judge, Judge Canoni, told Special Prosecutor Hank Brennan, I'm going to allow them to testify, but I'm going to give you a lot of latitude. So I'll allow them to testify. In other words, you can destroy them. So what I believe is going to happen for those that are following the Karen Read trial, I think the defense, now there's value in people's minds. There's value in what you leave the jury thinking about as they go into the weekend. So there's value. Some people believe that. I think there's some truth to it, that you want to leave a strong impression with the jury when then they go for the weekend. And so I believe the defense, they want to stay up all day. They want to stay in command. I think Alan Jackson, they're going to do everything possible to try to keep this guy up, because I'm telling you right now, watch what happens when Special Prosecutor Hank Brennan gets up. Now, these ARCA clowns, maybe some people don't consider them clowns. They deleted texts. He was talking to Alan Jackson by way of a Signal app. He also didn't disclose that they had been paid. He didn't disclose that they had been communicating. He seems like a real sneak. Last year, when they offered those opinions, they had not really examined the vehicle. This Dr. Wolf, Daniel Wolf, who's on the stand right now, he even was saying to Alan Jackson, here's questions you can ask me to get around the fact that this was last spring, that I never examined her Lexus. So, who knows what this guy's deal is, but he's a sneak. And I am telling you right now, if you believe the case of the prosecution, if you don't believe Karen Read, if you believe they've arrested the right person, I would just caution you, be patient. If you're a Karen Read supporter, you're cheering today. These guys are coming through. They have a demonstration. They're saying all the magic words based on this, blah, blah, blah. Folks, with one intention, to try to cause confusion with the jury in order to try to arrive at reasonable doubt. I believe the purpose of this witness today is to try to have it so the jury says, the prosecution had an expert and the defense had an expert, and I don't know. So we're just going to, tomato. We're going to throw them both to the side. Now, Hank Brennan will bring back Dr. Welcher. That means Alessi's going to have another go at him. He'll get a chance once again to bring him back and make the case. So I'm less concerned about what the jury thinks right now. I'll be curious to what the jury thinks when Hank Brennan gets done with this ARCA expert, so to speak. But there's also huge news that the media is not covering that I want to share with you. Huge news. And I'll go through some of the information. Folks, this portion of the program. Now remember, Father's Day is coming. Why not get you know what your dad would love? To get his driveway paved. Call J. Perry Paving. Call them. High quality, fair pricing, exceptional service, free estimate, any project. J. Perry Paving, 401-732-1730. 401-732-1730, letter J, J. Perry Paving. And remember, no one has a better package for Veterans Day for veterans, excuse me, than J. Perry Paving. So maybe your dad is a veteran. Maybe you're a veteran. Maybe your mom is a veteran, or your brother, or your son, or your daughter, your grandmother, your girlfriend. Call them and say, the Chosen One tells me we have a special package for veterans. 401-732-1730. You can also find them on Facebook. So the real big news of the day. Now, the defense, they're going to stay with this. I'm more curious to see how this plays out when Hank Brennan gets a shot, because I was in court for the special hearing, and I saw how Hank Brennan had this guy chasing his tail. And so I'm more curious about how he's going to handle it. But there's something very significant that is happening. And by surprise, it's not being covered as much, or not at all, by the Boston media. So the defense has two more witnesses after this one. So this Dr. Wolf, then they have this medical examiner from Rhode Island, Marie LaPosada. You're going to have to just wait. We know a little bit about her. I remember her from the Station nightclub fire. She was the state medical examiner. They could not get her to the scene the night of the Station nightclub fire. For whatever reason, she parted ways with the state of Rhode Island as the state medical examiner, even though she kept talking to them every half hour, saying she was on her way. There was something very unusual about that. But there's her, and then there's this other ARCA specialist, expert from ARCA, who works with Dr. Wolf, and his name is Dr. Wensler. So who's missing from that? Folks, who's missing from that is Richard Green. Richard Green was the expert that the defense brought in. And let me just explain something, because I can tell a lot of people are not following the trial or as closely as they should. And I understand people are busy, or it depends on where you get your information from. But Richard Green was the guy they brought in, the defense now, and he said that the 227 Google search by Jen McCabe happened at 227, not 623. Now, Ian Whiffen of Celebrate, he testified earlier in this trial. I was in court when Ian Whiffen testified. And what did Ian Whiffen testify to? He testified that there's no way, and Jessica Hyde said there was no way that Google search happened at 227. They insisted it happened at 623 and 624. As a matter of fact, Ian Whiffen disclosed that he got a phone call from defense expert Richard Green. So what does it mean? Now, when Ian Whiffen testified, Jessica Hyde testified, the defense accepted, they conceded that the search did not happen at 227. That means the ball is in the defense court right now in that courtroom. The Google search happened at 623 for the first time. If the defense wants to change that in any way or challenge it, now is their chance. But what's happening? Richard Green apparently is not going to testify. Michael Proctor is not going to testify. There's Wolf, the snake, today, and then there's two more expert witnesses after this. Another ARCA clown, and then that Marie LaPosada, who she's a paid expert. She'll basically say whatever you wanted to. So what does that mean? Folks, don't you understand what this means? Jen McCabe has always been insisting that she never Googled that at 227. The foundation of the conspiracy was the Google search. The foundation of the conspiracy. When I was first told about it, I was told from inside the house at 227, they Googled house long to die in cold. I was told that in July of 23, almost 2 years ago. Now, I didn't believe it then. Later, they found out, oh, wait a minute. Jen McCabe wasn't in the house. They have her cell phone GPS tracking it to her house. So then they were saying that she was lying in bed at 227 as she's Googling and learning about travel basketball youth teams, she also happened to say, gee, I wonder how long before my friend John O'Keefe is going to freeze to death on my brother-in-law's lawn. Folks, it didn't make sense to me in July of 23. It has now been officially debunked. It is false. Jen McCabe said, I never Googled that at 2:27. And she said, I never deleted anything. And Ian Whiffen of Celebrate and Jessica Hyde testified she never deleted anything, and she did not Google that at 2:27. So many Karen Reed supporters were saying, well, wait till the defense gets up there and wait till we get our expert up there. Folks, much like you're at a baseball game, right? And the other team scores 10 runs. And what do you say? All right, well, let's wait till we get our turn at bat. Or maybe, the other team gets the ball and they go right down the field and get a touchdown. What do you say? All right, well, we're going to get the ball. So the defense was saying, all right, well, let's wait till we get our expert. Nothing. Zero. Do you understand that? They're conceding that it didn't happen. So here's what I think you have to ask yourself. If the defense is conceding that 2:27 never happened, and by the way, you don't have to take my word for it. It's playing out in court. Never happened. I think it's a fair question to ask, what else have they not been truthful with? I am amazed that this woman, there are a number of people, and a number of things amaze me, actually, but there were people, and I trusted yesterday. Actually, this is the final time. Listen, they're not dog bites. That lady's not a dog bite expert. You know what I don't think has been explained enough is, do you know why they had to fly in Marie Russell from California? Is because the defense has spoken to countless dog bite experts, including some in New England. And what do they say? Those aren't dog bites. So if you're the defense, they talk to someone in Florida. Those aren't dog bites. They talk to someone in New York. Those aren't dog bites. Talk to someone in Georgia, Texas, all over the country, calling all these dog bite experts, sending those aren't dog bites. Instead, they get Marie Russell that says, I'll tell you what, if you fly me in, get me a limo, put me up, let me have a few meals. Yeah, I'll get up on the stand and say they look. She ended up testifying that they weren't even bites, that they were abrasions. Vinny played that last night on Court TV. So I'm amazed at these people. Marie Russell, the dog bite expert, she was saying they're not bites. There was no puncture wound. I'm not talking about it anymore. They're not dog bites. People are stuck on that. You're wrong. If those were dog bites, you'd be able to get more people than just Marie Russell. Her first case testifying. Boy, there's an expert for you. Lucky's the best witness. Lucky didn't see anything. Lucky. What, was Ray Charles unavailable? Lucky, Sergeant Schultz, I see nothing, I hear nothing. That's your idea of a good witness. How bad are things going for the Karen Reed case? A great witness, they're calling him. A great witness is someone who didn't see anything. Watch an episode of The Sopranos, and you have a witness. What does Paulie say? Paulie and Christopher and Silvio, and what do they say? Hey, Tone, turns out the witness changed his statement. He didn't see anything. Listen, the easiest thing to say is, I didn't see anything. How many times, if you watch us on Road Patrol Live, we go to these housing projects. We go all over in the inner city. We actually go everywhere. And what do people say when I say, hey, do you hear? No, I didn't see anything. I didn't hear anything. How about Providence in the 60s, 70s, 80s? Organized crime, or for that matter, Philadelphia or Boston or New York. What would happen when there was some kind of gang activity, or in those days, organized crime? Oh, I didn't see anything. Oh, no, I didn't hear anything. People learn. It's just easy to say, I didn't see anything. Instead of saying, yeah, it was that guy right there that got in the car and drove away, right? I heard 3 shots and I saw that guy. Is he in the courtroom? He's sitting right there. Never. One of the best examples was when Big Paul Castellano, remember this in the 80s, was shot outside Spark Steakhouse in New York City, right in Midtown Manhattan, late afternoon, 5:30. I still remember David Letterman saying, and they posted, there were flyers put up from the New York City police saying, if you witnessed what happened outside Spark State House, December whatever. Now it was John Gotti that set that in motion, but David Letterman had the flyer and said, call this number. And David Letterman said, so in other words, if you'd like to end your life, call this number. Folks, the easiest thing to do is just say, oh, I didn't see anything. Oh, I didn't hear anything. That's not a witness. If you want that, then go around and get all the people that live on Fairview Road. Did you hear anything? No, I didn't hear anything. Did you see anything? No. Perfect. You sound like a great witness. Here's a news bulletin. A great witness is someone who actually saw something, not someone who didn't see anything. And nothing against Lucky. I don't think he did see anything. I think he embellished it a little bit with, oh, I was looking all over and no animals, whatever. But he's a great witness. He didn't see anything. Well, most of the time, a really good witness is someone that says, yes, I saw something. Yes, I saw. Jen McCabe said, I saw the car. Karen, I saw your car. Front of the house, kept moving. Ended up down by the flagpole as they were arguing. Ray Charles was unavailable, so they had Lucky Loughran testify. Who's next on the witness list? Helen Keller? Folks, this portion of the program brought to you by Serve Pro. He's a great witness, that Lucky. He so bravely announced he didn't see anything. He didn't hear anything. Remember Hogan's Heroes? Schultz, I see nothing. I know nothing. There's Lucky. Oh, he's one of the best witnesses I think I've ever seen. You know what's comical about that is, let's put Dr. Wolf, the blanking brain surgeon, off to the side for a minute. Dr. Welcher, I told you they were upset that Welcher dressed like John O'Keefe in the blue paint, because Alan Jackson this morning, did it matter to you, Mr. Wolf, that he dressed up like John? I told you they were upset about that. You know why they were upset? Because it was effective. Because it was effective. Folks, this portion of the program brought to you by Serve Pro of Providence. 401-941-5500. Fast, thorough, professional. Serve Pro of Providence. Online at serveproprovidence.com. Now, when disaster strikes, and things can happen, there's a fire, or suddenly you have a flood in your basement or home, maybe mold. When disaster strikes, Serve Pro of Providence. Call them 401-941-5500, 401-941-5500 for Serve Pro of Providence. Folks, good afternoon. I also want to give a special shout out. I am getting such great feedback from people that have contacted JD's Lawn Care and Tree Service. No, I promote JD's Lawn Care and Tree Service. Someone, sent me a message. Are you the owner? No, I'm not the owner. JD Lawn Care and Tree Service. They're fantastic. Call them for your lawn or for a tree. 401-441-0154. And for your business, it makes a huge difference if you have a professional cut. 401-441-0154. I share their Facebook page. Just a reminder, Kids Club on the Pike. There's summer camp. Summer camp's going to be starting. Don't miss out for your child or grandchild. Kids Club on the Pike. Reserve the spot now for your child at Kids Club on the Pike. Whether it's birthday parties, before and after school care, preschool, Kids Club on the Pike. It's right off of 295, right on the Cranston-Johnson line on Plainfield Pike. You're going to love it. Reserve the spot today. Call Kids Club on the Pike, 401-443-5336. Well, folks, good afternoon. Again, it's been a long week with this heat, which actually feels nice, and the Karen Reed trial. So, and I also want to caution people, there's ups and downs. Right now, the defense has the ball. Right now, their star attorney, and he is, whether you like him or not, Alan Jackson, in from Los Angeles. Yes, he handled Kevin Spacey. The guy he's very gifted. He's got a tremendous voice. He's got great timing. He's good with witnesses. He's effective in the courtroom. I don't think he was effective with the female officer. I think that was a swing and a miss. I'm willing to bet if he could have something back, right? If he could get a mulligan, I think he'd say, well, let's not go with that officer. That did not go the way he wanted. But what I'm telling you right now this witness that they have on right now, this is to me, the first witness that the defense has that is a serious witness. This is a witness that if Dr. Wolf, let's just be objective. If Dr. Wolf, I'm still cautioning people, wait till the cross-examination with Hank Brennan. But if Dr. Wolf, if he can get through cross-examination intact with Hank Brennan, they're trying to open the door that something else happened to Officer John O'Keefe. Now, to be very clear, I'm not convinced they're going to be successful. This also shows you that the defense, they recognize they have their work cut out for them. This is where the money went. Look at the demonstrations they're showing. Granted, with the crash dummies and so forth. This is high stakes. The cross-examination from Hank Brennan, which I don't think it's coming till Monday. I don't think it's going to come. I don't think so. Because when Brennan gets up, he's going to be up for a while. And he's going to crucify this guy. Make no mistake about it. And the judge is going to let him. If you like high drama, you watch what Hank Brennan does with this guy. And the other one, the other clown from ARCA. But the whole question is, can they make a compelling argument to the jury that there was some other cause? I don't know the answer to that just yet. And I don't think you can know the answer to that until they are completed. So, but listen, this guy, he does accident reconstruction. He's certainly not, I'm calling him a clown only because I know that they withheld information, but I can see, I want to just read some points. Let's see. This witness, Wolf, is saying the exact opposite of what Officer Burrows said. He initially said before crumbling on cross, the side part was broken, but not the back. Let me see this. It's amazing how many long-held Free Karen Reed talking points this ARCA witness is dismantling. Also, is the defense position still that the taillight was initially broken in the light tap in the driveway? I mean, that to me is totally crazy if they're going to do that. Here's another. This is a text from anonymous mass lawyer. If the defense itself abandons this claim, pay close attention to those who still repeat it. They're propagandists or fools, and they're creating a record that may be used against them in post-trial defamation suits. So I think they're talking about the Google search. Yep, for the supposed Google search, there's no universe in which Jen McCabe ever called a murderer characterized as the quarterback of some wild criminal conspiracy. The very notion would have been so preposterous, no one would have bought it for a second. But that's where they are right now. And as I am, let me just see. So look, I'm as happy as anybody with this, but I do think Karen serves the defense doesn't decide to just prove she did it. So listen, they're going to get a chance to Alexis. ARCA proved Alexis can reverse at 24 miles an hour. An arm can shatter a taillight. The body could presumably be knocked backwards if it wasn't tethered down. I'm not exactly sure what's happening here. Alan Jackson is asking a ton of leading questions of his own witness. This is Matt Tempick. Jackson also seems uncharacteristically timid during this direct. I have to think Jackson's trying to minimize Hank Brennan's avenues of attack for cross. Okay. Let me just see. I want to make sure we have the latest. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Hold on. Ted Daniel. The temperature rises this week in the Karen Reed trial. Officer Dever, not Dever. Dever, not Dever. Lucky's plow by. Dollar bill size taillight damage. Proposed jury instructions. Not that guy. The fraud you know. There you go. I can't even. I don't understand why you'd even talk to that guy. He is. All right, let me look. All right. Direct is done. Jury break till 1:30. Oh, all right. I'm wrong. Here comes Hank then. Jury break till 1:30. Direct is done. All right. Well, I may want to listen to some of this. We're going to continue here. Wow. Well, that's going to be really interesting because Hank Brennan is going to dismantle this guy. I'm telling you. Let me, I just want to, okay. Well, it's still the ceiling fan, so they're still going for a while. So, folks, my recommendation, and people are asking me different predictions and things like that. As I've said, number one, you have to wait until the case is complete. Number two, you have to wait until closing arguments. And number three, you still have to wait to see who's on the jury. Because there were 18 people in the room. 18 people are still there. They're only going to select 12. So it depends. There could be someone sitting there who absolutely would vote not guilty, and maybe they're not selected. There could be someone sitting there that feels 100% that she should be found guilty on all three charges, and could convince others in a very convincing manner, and that they're not chosen. So it's an unknown. Folks, this portion of our program brought to you by Arch Design Builders. Remember, whether it's for a kitchen or bathroom or your basement or a deck or a special project, Arch Design Builders. Call them, set up that free meeting with Roxanne and Ed, family owned and operated, Arch Design Builders. This is 5-star custom build. Remember, with the Arch difference, family business, you're going to, you have the designer, Arch Design Builders. Arch Design Builders. Roxanne is the designer, and then Ed is the builder. This is who I would call. Call them, set up that free meeting. Arch Design Builders, 401-218-9707, 401-218-9707 for Arch Design Builders. Well, folks, good afternoon. Again, on this, they initially said that today was kind of going to be a cloudy day, but so far so good. And it certainly looks like a nice day. The Karen Reed trial coverage continues. Now, again, coming up at 3 o'clock, I'm going to be live on Fox Nation, streaming 3 to 4. Again, talking Karen Reed, and then we'll be doing Road Patrol Live over the course of the weekend. Don't forget, if you're thinking of improving the value of your home or business, one way to do that is with Roofco Rhode Island. Call them 401-868-7149, Roofco Rhode Island. Maybe your roof has wind damage. Maybe it has a leaky roof, or maybe missing lifted or curled shingles. Call Joe, free estimate, Roofco Rhode Island, 401-868-7149. Damaged chimney flashing, granules in the gutter, curled shingles, leaky roof, wind damage. Free estimate, Roofco Rhode Island, 401-868-7149. So the Karen Reed trial continues this afternoon, and then we'll see. It sounds like the defense is getting ready to wrap up. I think the judge may give them a day off to prepare for closing arguments. Last time they're normally just given 1 hour, and then the jury is selected, and then the jury starts to deliberate. So I believe by next week at this time, unless something else happens, the jury's going to be deliberating. Folks, don't also forget Watson Materials, 1500 South County Trail in East Greenwich, the largest selection of landscape materials in Rhode Island. is Watson Materials. Call Sean at 401-885-0600. Remember, whether it's landscape lighting, pavers, retaining walls, natural stone, cobblestone, Watson Materials, 401-885-0600, 401-885-0600. Watson Materials. They are fantastic. Well, folks, again, good afternoon. Obviously, still a lot of eyes. Everybody. I mean, the case is getting bigger, not smaller, as a matter of fact. So I'm just checking. Let's see. Okay, there's that. Let me also just check some other notes. Nope. And we're also, let's see. See who else that is. Okay. It sure sounds, and I'm glad I saw that. I am surprised. I initially thought they'd want to stay up all day, meaning the Jackson would. But according to Katie Benoit, let's see, direct is done. Jury break, she said till 1:30. Courtroom was very quiet as the video played. Wolf says damage is not consistent. Clothing on dummy was similar to O'Keefe's, didn't have holes. That's interesting. Wolf said the damage to the test taillight was inconsistent with Reed's taillight. Well, I'm telling you right now that Hank Brennan, I believe, is going to absolutely, you're going to show this to a jury and call the damage inconsistent. I don't know. It looks like the same taillight to me. It's like dropping two plates from the same distance, averring that a broken fragment isn't exactly identical. I agree with that. Let's see. But I'll say this. This is definitely the best witness they've had. Oh, Hank Brennan is starting.
There's other things that ARCA does as far as clients, right?
Certainly.
Did you share with us that you work for lawyers and law firms?
Yes, we do.
And you do
This is Hank Brennan.
litigation, insurance companies?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any reason why you highlighted the Department of Defense that you don't do and the NHL but didn't share the rest of the stuff with us?
That's just some of the prominent clients that we have.
I see. You provided us a CV, didn't you?
Yes.
And that's like a resume, tells us a little bit about your education experience. You get to highlight some of the things, your accomplishments.
Yes.
You shared with us you've been the director of accident reconstruction at this company, ARCA, since 2017.
No, not since I started.
You started with ARCA in 2017.
Correct, yes.
When did you become the director of accident reconstruction?
I think that would have been in January of 2024, so about a year and a half.
About a year and a half ago?
Yes.
And you received your certification from ACTAR.
Yes.
Did you pass the test on both parts?
This is Hank Brennan with the witness.
I don't recall if I think it was I had to retake, I think, the practical section in the afternoon.
Well, you would recall something like that, wouldn't you? Did you pass both parts on the first try?
Like I said, I think it was the second part I had to retake.
Well, this is a pretty important test, isn't it?
Not really.
It's your certification.
It is, but much of the concepts that are covered in it are very elementary.
Well, not so elementary. You had a hard time with part of it, didn't you?
Well, with respect to the portion that I had to retake, it's a practical exam where you have to reconstruct an accident. You have to determine
Boy, this
approach
guy's
angles,
so
departure
arrogant.
angles, and it can be very sensitive to those inputs. And unfortunately, if you mess up one of your first angles and you carry out that calculation, then the whole problem is graded wrong, even if you did all the math correct.
So we understand the multiple choice question part. That's the easier part, right?
I don't know if it's easier, but there is a multiple choice part.
The more practical part where you actually have to go out in the field and do assessments, kind of like things that you do today.
You don't go out into the field, no.
And, when did you first take that second
Again,
part?
this is Hank Brennan on Cross.
I don't recall.
No,
No, I don't.
Suffice to say, you took it again,
Correct.
and then ultimately you passed both sections of that test.
Yes.
In your CV, you list your schooling and you list your degrees, don't you?
Yes.
You mentioned some of the things that you focused on in your academic experience, don't you?
Yes.
And you have publications.
Correct.
Recently, you did a publication regarding vehicle control history on Toyotas.
Correct.
Vehicle control history is data that is stored in a vehicle,
Yes.
and Toyota owns Lexus, correct?
Correct.
So you have familiarity with vehicle control history. In fact, you have a publication on it.
Yes.
In your entire resume, you only mention pedestrian collisions or that you're involved in pedestrian type events 3 times. Is there anything specific in your resume or your publications that show a published accomplishment, for example, in pedestrian collisions? Do you have any publications that have been peer reviewed or published in that area?
No, I don't have any publications in pedestrians.
You write or you note areas of specialty and you list a bunch: accident reconstruction, human factors, EDR, commercial vehicle, HVEDR, pedestrian bicycle accidents, nighttime disability, and a number of others, correct?
Correct.
It's Hank Brennan on
Is there
direct.
anywhere in your resume that notes
Cross.
particular classes that you've attended and completed regarding pedestrian collisions?
No, I haven't taken any classes in that.
You haven't taken any classes on pedestrian collisions?
No.
Have you ever taught regarding pedestrian collisions?
No.
Clown.
Have you ever been a speaker in a presentation about pedestrian collisions?
Yes.
Is that listed in your resume?
I don't list lectures or presentations, no.
Again, this is Hank
You were
Brennan
asked questions about your involvement in
on
this
Cross.
case. Yes?
Yes.
And you had shared with us that you, at the beginning, were working for a separate party or a third party, you said?
Yes, another agency.
Another agency. And at some point, you came into court and testified last year.
Yes.
And during the time before you came in and testified, you weren't wholly independent of the defense, were you?
Well, certainly before all of our testing, at the point at which we did all of our testing, report, and analysis, as I mentioned on direct, I didn't know the Commonwealth or the defense in this case.
My question more precisely, before you testified, when you came into court and gave your testimony, you weren't totally independent of the defense, were you?
No, I mean, I had to communicate with them to be able to determine when to appear for testimony.
It's a little faint, but it's them.
Yes.
Yes.
It's Hank
Some
Brennan.
of the time that you spent, ARPA actually told the defense lawyer they think that
Eventually, after the trial, yes.
during that time, you know what a sequestration order is, don't you?
Yes.
Do you think they're under a sequestration order today?
Yes.
Did you talk to anybody about any of the prior testimony in this case before today?
No.
How did you get here today?
How did I get here today? I took a car ride over from the hotel. It was a driver. I don't know his name.
Who set up the car?
It would have been someone on the defense team.
Was it like a window and limo?
It was an SUV.
Was there anybody with you on the ride home?
There were 3 young ladies in the back seat. I think they might have been interns, and Mr. Woke. Mr. Wolk. I think it's pronounced. Am I saying it wrong?
Have you discussed anything about this case before you testimony today as far as the trial?
before today? Yes.
Discuss anybody's testimony.
Nobody's testimony, no.
That was different last year, though, because before you testified last year, you didn't have discussions about testimony.
Not with the Commonwealth or the defense, no.
But I'm asking, you didn't have discussions about testimony before you testified last year, right?
Correct, yes.
And you know what a sequestration order is, don't you?
Yes.
This is Hank Brennan on
After
cross
you testified last year,
examination.
the court ordered you to provide all of your text messages, all your communications
Listen to this.
with the defense, didn't they?
Yes,
He
earlier this year.
deleted them.
And when you were ordered to provide all of the actual verbatim communications with the defense, did you provide those communications?
Yes, all of the records that I had at the time I provided.
Well, not the records, you know what I'm getting at. Did you provide communications?
I provided everything I had in my possession,
He
sir.
deleted them.
A text message isn't just a time and date, it's actually substance when you text somebody, isn't there?
Correct.
And when you texted, how many texts do you think you had with the defense?
From what I recall, I think it was around 50 texts that I sent.
It wasn't 100, I think it was 50.
It was 100.
Well, I think it was around 100 total in terms of back and forth, but it was, I think, 50 that I sent.
And during those texts, communications, conversations, correct?
About logistics, yes.
Did you provide content of those text messages in your orders by the court?
Well, those text messages spanned from I guess it would have been April or so of 2024 through May to June of 2024. Ultimately, I think I received the court's order in May of this year, April of this year. So it was a year after the fact, and I had already deleted the text at that point.
How many of those text messages did you delete?
I just swiped the conversation, so it would have been the whole conversation.
Not how you did it. How many of those 100 or so text messages did you delete?
It would have been the whole text chain. I didn't individually delete them. It just, when you swipe, it just deletes the text chain.
After you deleted them, did you go into these deleted and then delete them so they were unavailable?
I don't recall doing that.
Well, you were asked to search your records for text messages. Did you do a thorough search to see if you still had them or whether you had destroyed them all?
I checked my phone, and I also checked with my phone carrier.
So you know if they were still under the recently deleted part of your phone, would you go and take that extra step and totally destroy them?
From what I recall, I did not find any of the text messages, no.
Why did he delete them? Why did he delete his text messages with the defense? What are they hiding?
Is there any reason why you deleted
Destroyed evidence.
all of your text communications with the defense?
Yep.
Well, it's something that I routinely do. I work with attorneys and clients all the
That's
time,
true.
whether it's appearing for
Supposed
trial
to
or
hold it for
inspections.
2 years.
And I don't have a habit of keeping a text chain that talks about logistics and things. It's just I routinely delete them after that communication was over with, and certainly after the prior proceeding, once it had concluded, there was no reason for me to preserve those.
Why did he delete them?
And so, at some point, you switched from text messages to another form of communication, didn't you?
Yes, earlier this year.
Can you tell us a little bit about this new form of communication?
Signal app.
So Mr. Jackson had indicated that he and his defense team utilized an application known as Signal for their communications amongst their defense team.
It's
Ultimately
encrypted.
asked if I would also use that application to
Secret
communicate, which
communication.
I agreed to.
Is Signal an encrypted app?
Yes.
It's a secure encrypted app, yes.
It doesn't leave any records, right?
Right.
I don't believe so, no.
Well, you're using it. Do you have any records from your Signal use?
You're gonna allow that?
Do you have any records from your Signal use?
I do not, no.
So you know full well that Signal is an encrypted app, leaves
Yep.
no record.
There may be a setting that you can change. I just know that the way that it was set up, there was no record.
Well, who set yours up to have no record?
I don't know. I think it was default.
Have you ever checked your Signal app to see if you have any record of your communications pursuant to that court order?
Well, I don't have the application anymore, but at the time I did check the application.
Out of all these clients that you've had, how many times or how many clients would you use Signal with?
This was the first time.
Have you used it since with other clients?
Not yet, no.
Go get him, Hank.
Before you testified last time, at the last proceeding,
Love it. Good luck,
or should I
Karen.
say when you testified at the last proceeding,
Good luck, Karen.
kind of like today, you attempted to portray yourself as totally independent, didn't you?
Sustaining them.
When you testified at the prior proceeding, did you attempt to portray yourself as totally independent?
Yes.
Yes.
The truth is, before you testified, you were communicating
Yes.
with the defense
Yep.
and attempting the best you could to assist their cause, weren't you?
I wouldn't characterize it that way.
So before you testified, you wrote out questions that you thought could help, that you
Yep.
should be asked when you testified, correct?
So something I routinely do before testifying is prepare an outline of topics and questions that would best help be able to get out my opinions and the analysis I undertook, ultimately so that you all have an understanding of what I did.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm asking you a question. You gave the explanation, but you're skipping over the answer to my question. So
Sustained.
I'll ask you again. Before you testified, did you write out a list of questions that you wanted to be asked?
Yes.
Yes.
And when you listed out the questions, you also listed out the answers, didn't you?
A general response. It wouldn't be verbatim to that.
How?
It's great because you list out the answers to each and every one of the questions that you
Yep.
prepared.
Yes.
What a
For
fraud.
every question, there's an answer that you provided so that you could follow a script. So
Yep.
yes.
I wouldn't characterize it as a script.
One of the questions asks, so not being able to inspect vehicles is something that's not uncommon in your line of work? And your answer, absolutely not. Remember writing that out?
Yes.
Then you put a footnote, a comment. And you said, not sure if you want to put this somewhere in the direct examination. I have a feeling they are going to argue I didn't personally inspect the vehicles. I had enough information from the material I reviewed, so it wasn't necessary for me to show the jury it doesn't matter in this case. Write that?
Yes.
When you talk about they, I have a feeling they are going to argue I didn't personally inspect the vehicle. Who's they?
That'd be the Commonwealth.
And so when you were writing out these questions as is your routine with the answers, is this the mark of independence to you?
Well, I think, again, whether the Commonwealth asked me that question or the defense asked me that question, my response would be the same. It wouldn't change depending on who called me to testify. There are a number of cases, by the time I get involved, the evidence is gone
All
from
right,
the
folks, we're
roadway,
coming
the
up
vehicle is gone.
On 2
So
o'clock,
It's certainly not necessary to inspect the
Road
vehicle. And I
Patrol
wanted
Live later
the jury
tonight.
to have an understanding that because I didn't physically inspect the vehicle, it didn't affect
You're
my
listening to
analysis
the
of
radio.
case.
Stay tuned for the 2 o'clock news.
Yes.
Then you also had another question. Would it be fair to say that
Hank
because
Brennan.
you do a lot of nighttime visibility work, the case is frequently involved?
He is on cross-examination right
Yes.
now.
You said yes. Unfortunately,
We'll see you later tonight
between time of day
on Road Patrol
and
Live.
fatalities. Is that true?
Stay tuned for the 2 o'clock news.
Correct. Yes.
And they happen more often in the day or at night?